Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Hi Ari, hi Sherry, hey Derek. Hi Roxanne, good evening. We got about a couple minutes and before we start our practice. If you guys need anything, let me know on the live chat. Hopefully you're getting settled into your space on your mat, which you really don't even need a yoga mat for this practice, but something comfortable, something with a little bit of padding. As you know, there can be some sensitivities that arise in our body, on our knees, in our elbows, and our ankles. And so you want to have some padding, have that blanket, have the towel or the pillow with your yoga block if you have one. If not, all good. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start the live stream playlist here. If you're following along on Spotify, go ahead and start your Spotify playlist now. Hi, Dana. Good evening. And once you guys get your devices set up, you got your video and your volume set, make your way into a comfortable seat. You could sit cross-legged as I am, one ankle and shin in front of the other. You're also welcome to sit on your shins. You could have a pillow in between your feet, something to pad in between your ankles and your bum. But make your way into a comfortable seat where you can have your head above your heart. And let your hands rest onto your thighs, onto your knees, and so that you can soften your shoulders. And if you have any urges to make any final adjustments before you come into the stillness, make those now. You roll your shoulders. And then begin to settle so that your head is stacked above your heart. And as part of the practice tonight, I invite you to close your eyes here. And watch yourself drop into complete stillness physically through your body. eyes are closed here, notice that you can still sense in the physical environment that you're in. You can still remember what your living room, what your bedroom, wherever you're practicing, you can still vividly see the shelves and the things on the shelves, even though your eyes are closed. You notice how that works. You know where the end table is, you know where the sofa is. These are all the things that you know. And this is the ability to store things in your mind, your memory. And that's the easy part of the practice, is acknowledging all the things that you know, so as they appear, if it's something that you know, and for the sake of our practice tonight, observe your breath and then go, yeah, I know that. And then as you continue to go through the practice and something else appears, and if it's something that you recognize and inside of yourself, go, yep, yeah, I know that. But then pay attention for the moment or the moments when something appears that perhaps you've never seen before, or you never thought of in that way before, or something that simply falls into the category of the unknown. And so all you're doing for the next hour, as far as entertaining the mind, as we work through the experiences of the postures, is stuff comes up, and if you know it, acknowledge it. Yep, I know. And if it's something that is unknown or something that is new or that you've never seen before, say, okay, that's unknown. And beyond that, you're not functioning or processing with the brain in any way. You're not trying to figure it out. You're not trying to finish the script. You're not trying to be, hit in the head with the great idea. You're not trying at all. And so this practice and all of our practices, and we're going to hear more and more about this as we continue to trek through the situation of the world, mindfulness and meditation, and slowing down and observing our minds to reduce anxiety and future tripping. And you're going to keep hearing more and more and more and more about it, but you already have a practice. And so you may not be picking it up for the first time. And some of you have been sharpening your tools for quite some time, as we were talking about last night, in preparation for whatever's next. And so if we're going to present ourselves and with a question through our meditation, we can just ask, what's next? You feel your seat and the breath lifting up towards your chest, nice and tall. And then you can just go ahead and exhale and release all the air from your lungs. And let your eyes slowly come back into the room. And depending which seat that you're in, everybody's going to make their way to their bum. You're welcome to face the top of your mat. I'm simply facing you, but you can face the top of your mat. And then set up with the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall apart. Work on a comfortable distance, and so you can kind of broaden the shape by letting your heels slide away a little bit. And it's not forcing in the action of the feet together. It's just letting the feet touch and then letting your knees fall out. You find and feel into that space where your bones just basically can catch you. Your bones or the tightness in your body, whatever it is just going to stop you and from your knees going any further. And then take your hands loosely around the back of your feet. And so we're not pulling, but we're just connecting the hands to the feet. And relax the belly. And we'll soften into a forward fold here. And hopefully this version of a forward fold isn't as tight into your low back as we've got the knees spread. And completely normal to feel one hip a little bit tighter than the other. And say, for example, in your physical practice, you've been, managing a tight hip for quite some time. And it shows up in your detox. All you have to do tonight is just say, yep, I know about that. Acknowledge it. And sit with it and continue to soften. And so the only delineation that we're making is from the known category and the unknown category. That's it. And besides that, we're simply flying through space at a crazy speed, but it feels like we're still you can't even tell that the earth is moving. And let your head get heavier and chin closer to your chest. Eyes closed. And start to relax in the relative stillness. As you continue to soften your belly and compress into the front of your spine, and you're welcome to let your hands go out even further, and the weight of the arms, and the weight of your head, and might take you a little bit deeper into your fold. If you're still clenching your jaw and your cheeks, if your tongue is tight, then let all of that go for about the last minute here. And connect and observe the sensations through your spine. And start to walk your hands back in. And keep your head heavy, bring your hands by your hips. And then from the base of your spine, slowly roll yourself back up to a stack. As you bring your head back on top, and hands to your outer knees, slowly bring your knees back up towards each other. And with your feet flattened, you're just going to gently wrap your arms around your shins. And one hand grabs the opposite wrist. And then feel your seat and just roll into the front of your sitting bones. And for a little counter stretch, which is a neutral spine, so roll your heart up. And your ears slide back over your shoulders. Neutral spine, take a breath here. And on your exhale, you can soften your chin. Release your grip. From your seat, let your left leg go straight out in front of you. And then we're going to bend your right leg and bring the heel behind you. So your right leg is bent, but you're on the inner edge of your right foot. And so you're going to point your right toes out. So the inner edge of your right foot is on. If it's not touching the ground, this is where you might want to slide a blanket or a towel underneath the inside of your ankle. And then you can play with and drawing the knee back a little bit more, see what that feels like in your hips. This does not need to look like anything fancy. And it's going to feel like you want to rock off to the left side. So in my case, I'm going to use the block underneath my left forearm. You might throw a rolled up pillow. It just depends on what you're feeling in your body. And what this is doing is it's internally rotating your right hip. So you're going to release the heaviness to your inner thigh. You find a place where you can support the torso coming down. And whatever you need underneath your left arm. And with as little strength as possible so that you don't tip off to the left. So get it set up in the next 3 breath cycles or so. And then once you find it, and start to learn about the stillness of the posture. Okay, and it's simple tonight. It's an easy tree. It's, yep, I know that. Or no, I've never seen that before. That's it. And if you've never done this before with your right leg, this can, notice how sensations are immediate. They don't wait around. They're not indecisive. The sensation is the sensation. It's here, it's now. Your right foot, your ankle, your knee, your hip. And so give yourself a lot of credit for being with a lot of sensation, perhaps. And if you're not feeling too much, just keep folding forward. I saw a lot of shares today, you guys. Having no idea how the practice is being translated and through anybody else. I get most excited about the connection and the consistency and the ritual of the practice. And so when I see people sharing 34 days in a row, 35 days in a row, 9 days in a row, 15 days in a row, and that is a magnificent light and that is illuminating, not only through darkness, not only through our personal challenges, but it's illuminating throughout our entire world. And I promise you, you're going to be hearing a lot more about mindfulness and meditation in ways to reduce stress, but you're already connecting to that now. You've been connecting to it all along. In the last minute or so, head is heavy. Soften the tongue completely. And release the belly and let yourself fold. And take a cleansing breath here so your exhale comes out of your mouth. And keep your eyes soft and start to bring your hands back onto the mat. And feel your spine as you roll your way back up. Use your right hand to your right shin so you can start to slide your right knee forward. And let your leg come all the way out in front of you. And feel the release down the right side of the body. Go ahead and lie down onto your back. Make yourself comfortable. And shoulders down. Slight bend to the knees. And let your big toes fall out. And with your arms by your sides, palms facing up, please. And can only hope that it feels like you're doing nothing and throughout this entire practice. And that'd be a beautiful way and to translate any challenges or anything and that comes up through your mind, and that you're really not doing anything at all. And keep your left leg where it is. And bring your right knee towards your chest. And without using your hands, just see how close you can bring the right knee into your chest first. And if your hands do not make it to your right foot, you can always just have the hands on your right shin. But to go for the foot, you're going to lift the head, crisscross the wrist, and so your left hand is holding the outside of your right foot, and your right hand is holding the inside of your right foot. And then from there, start to let your shoulders and your head come back down. And again, if that's too much, you can always just have your hands on your shin. Okay, if you're there, but it's still a little bit too tight in your neck, and like me, you can put something underneath your head. I'll use my block. You make any little adjustments, and then let's start to settle in the relative stillness. And you would say that is the practice, and that draws so much energy in through our bodies, is making this choice and to be still. Be as gentle as you can. You can lift your head a little bit. If you got the foot, draw your belly in a little bit, and then start to soften your grip. And to once again release your right leg. You should feel the body cool here as you take your right leg long. And release your head down. And let your arms come by your side. You'll probably settle a little bit deeper in this rebound. Be still. And let go through another sigh. It's like a golden nugget. When you're in a practice and something pops up that you've never seen before. And it's pretty exciting. But remember, we don't want to do anything. We don't want to start to activate the mind and to engage in that essence of the unknown. We simply want to acknowledge and that it's something we haven't seen before, we haven't felt before. And let's bend the legs, bring your feet flat onto the mat, no rush. And if you got something underneath your head, go ahead and slide it out, please. And then lift your head, take your hands behind your knees, and pull yourself all the way back up to a seat. And keep the right leg straight out in front of you. Lean to the right a little bit and bend your left leg. Bring the heel next to your hip. Remember, you're on the inside edge of your left foot, and so your ankle is flexed and your toes are pointing out. As you start to feel in those sensations, you can slide the knee back a little bit. Your right toes are relaxed. I mean, this might be enough, just keeping your right hand as a kickstand. It's totally normal in the tightness of the hips, especially that left hip that is internally rotated, and to get a lot of pressure coming up into your chest. I used to do this and ask my instructor if I was having a heart attack. But it was just the tightness in my hips. So you might feel that in your chest. And if you're going to come forward, you could put something underneath your right forearm and let that support you. No push, no pull. And simple surrender. Let your head come down towards the ground. And the sensation ought to be doing something. And it's directly connected to your mind. And so patterns and thoughts can be pretty interesting to observe. And sometimes you sit in these poses and you'll know what it is, but it'll be something that comes up from like 15, 20 years ago. That's amazing too. Instead of damning ourselves and sitting in that rigidness of our body, right? Getting fixed in our ways, protecting ourselves in what we would identify as our little bubble of comfort. You want to let all that shit go. We want to let all of those ideas go, all of that training and conditioning. Let that flow out of our system as we sit in a practice like this and become more mindful, more aware. You're like, this is meditation. I am meditating right now. I am deeper in my being, wholeheartedly and connected to more being people, being energy, whatever that means to you. Settle in, let your head hang, and enjoy the stillness. And soften your belly, loosen your jaw. If you're going to fold in any more, let it go there for about the last minute on this side. In some ways, translated through your mind, it should be like a time warp, unidentified, and by time getting lost in the space of your body and the feelings, the excitement, the joy, even amidst the intensity, sometimes of what you're sitting with sensationally or emotionally. The important part is we're giving everything an opportunity to flow. You move nice and slow and start to make your way back up onto your hands. And then your right hand is your kickstand. Your left hand can come over to your left ankle. Lean to the right and just start to bring your left leg back out in front. As you feel your left side release, go ahead and lie down onto your back and close your eyes, and then we can observe the flow coming into that part of our body. And feel your shoulders, a little bend to your knees, and let your big toes fall out, please. You can't make this shit up. In the same way, in the observation of your thoughts, yep, I know that. Or no, I haven't seen that before. And so known versus unknown. And we do absolutely nothing beyond that. No control, no reaction. You think of like the relationship, whatever relationship you have in your life where it's most free. Like that person that even if you haven't seen them in a year, right, you all get together and it feels like you never left. Take it slow, start to bring your left foot onto the mat. And without using your hands, bring your left knee towards your chest. You feel how close you can get the knee to your chest first. And remember, you can always go traditional when relieving with your hands on your shin. Okay, or just see, feel it out. Lift your head up. If you'd been doing wind relieving for like 10 years, you feel this out. Crisscross the wrist. And so right hand grabs the outside of your left foot. And then your left hand grabs the inside of your left foot. And get your fingers to curl in around. And then start to let your head come down. And if you're like me, you might want to have something to prop underneath your head. And work out of the funkiness and the grip if you need to. Any adjustments, like 3 breaths. And then we will start and to settle on this side. And go as slow as you can, you guys. If you lift your head and draw your belly in a little bit, and let your foot slide out of your hands. And begin to release your left leg long onto the mat. And your head can come back down. And rest your arms. And the palms face up. Feel this cooling. You're letting go of a lot of fire, a lot of frustration, even determination that is overriding your ability to be present. Overriding your ability to be a peaceful and a humble being. And feel your attachments soften here. And you know you're in the right place, because even if you wanted to describe what you're feeling into another person right now, it would be pretty much impossible. And that's the beauty of the practice, is that your experience is your experience, and you let all others have their experience. That is the yoga. If you have something under your head, please remove it. And then you can go ahead and bend your legs so that your feet are flat. And then we're going to lift the head, hold on to the back of the knees, and draw yourself all the way back up to a seat. And swing your feet out to the right and make your way around, and so that you're sitting on your shins. And so you can face the top of your mat. I'm simply going to face you. And it's pretty likely that you're going to want to have a pillow or something to start in between your feet. And so on your shins, bring your knees all the way together. And so you want your knees touching. And then your feet are apart, okay, with a pillow or a block in between your feet. And so the inner heels are resting on the outer hips. And then both palms facing up, but the back of one hand and settles into the open palm of the other. And so for the purpose of this practice and what we're teaching our mind is that we can dive into anything with purpose. Even if we've never done it before, we don't have to sit in that bubble of comfort. You're really going in the opposite direction, and so that we can be in the mode of discovery, and we can be in the freedom and the liberation of the unknown, without trying to change it, without trying to fix anything, without trying to make ourselves better. We can just be in it. And feel your shoulders soften, and you can close the eyes and let your chin rest towards your chest. And notice right now it's so less about anything that is going on around you. What does that even mean, to look at something and say, oh, that looks peaceful? Well, why not and draw that element? If it's the visualization of you standing at the edge of a lake, looking at the flat water, watching the ducks wade themselves across the lake, or whatever it may be, why not draw to that place inside of yourself and from wherever you are, anytime. You're welcome to stay here with that object underneath your bum. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper without drawing yourself out, and take either hand and lift your bum just an inch, and then slide that object back or pull it out. And then your pelvis will settle down a little closer to the ground, possibly even all the way down onto the ground. And once you're there, in palms facing up, rest the back of one hand into the open palm of the other. And let's settle with the sensation. And again, let your chin relax towards your chest, and your eyes can close. You know when there's something stuck in a pipe, like in your sink, and it gurgles? You put water down it, and then it gurgles, and it bubbles that air back up to the surface. With this compression, as you sit deeper and deeper into any of this energy that might be stuck in these parts of your body, it might feel like those air pockets are gurgling and making their way through your spine. If they make their way all the way to your mind, all you got to do is sit with that practice of, yep, I know that, or no, I've never seen that before. But we're grateful for anything and that bubbles all the way up into our conscious mind, and that we're able to see as we sit in these postures tonight. Stay loose in the jaw, everybody. You can bring your eyes back into the space. Go slow, fingertips to the ground. And then you just gently start to roll some weight into your knees. You can relieve some of that sensation as the hips come up. Tingles down your legs, into your toes. Observe that flow. Let's lean off onto the left hip. Bring your legs around. Let them go straight. And then go ahead and lie all the way down onto your back, please. Once you lie down, find the comfortable shape on your back. And take a line in your mind from your outer hips, your outer hip flexors, all the way down your thighs, through your knees, your shins, and relax your toes. If you've got that flickering of light As you close your eyes and the tingling in your toes, gain energy and flow releasing and throughout your entire body. And go ahead and relax your hands onto your belly. And draw yourself into the depth of your stillness and the expansion of your openness. You've taken your world and physically, and you've adapted. You're drawing yourself through the portal and through the depths of your inner being, and to reveal some truth. You need to face these truths with humility. And to actually feel yourself as a student of life, regardless of your success or how cool you think you are. And you feel yourself here tonight as a student of life. As you rest here tonight, stay here lying on your back and for as long as you would like to. It's always an invitation. And then as you continue to build this relationship with your mind, at least through this evening, if not into tomorrow morning, until we meet again, anything that comes up through your mind, you can just put it in those two buckets. I know. I don't know. I've never seen that before. Don't try to do anything with your thoughts. No manufacturing. And tonight, just simple placement and thoughts as they come up, and you acknowledge them. And taking this experience from your mat and bringing it with you tangibly into your life as a student, which we all are. And the greatest teacher, really the only teacher, I know a lot of people wear the label of teacher, but the greatest teacher and the true essence of the teacher really is inside each of us. So I thank you all so much for sharing and holding the space tonight, and for yourself and for each other. I can feel the camaraderie and the support of many of you showing up here evening after evening, because you know it's really not about you. We know it's really about something much greater than any individual. And so thank you. I hope to see everybody for our morning practice tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you have any questions, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. And have a beautiful evening, everybody. Namaste.